2012 V-Strom maintenance around 2,400 kilometers. Sorry guys, in the US for those that are miles. I don't know what that is, but whatever. You guys do the calculations. I wanted to make this video for myself. One is so that in the future, in a year or 2 years time that I have to do this again, I'll sort of remember what I did. And also, I know there's a lot of people out there like me that really are not totally mechanically inclined, just enough. But you don't want to spend the small fortune that the motorcycle shops are asking for you to do some maintenance, some very basic maintenance on your V-Strom. So now it's a naked bike, if you can see. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go backwards. So it's already deconstructed, it's already ripped apart. The tank has been lifted and taken off, and so is the front cowling. There's some other stuff that you have to do too, but really these are the two pieces that you have to be really concerned about in order to get at the bike to do the maintenance. The first thing I did was the filter. So I swapped out the standard filter with a K&N filter. Very simple. I'm not even going to show you how you do it, because once you get to this point, all you have to do is remove these screws. Lift it up. Just lift up the case, take off the old filter, make sure the fins are facing upwards, and replace it with the stock filter or a K&N or whatever you really feel like doing. With the K&N, it's already pre-oiled. I made a big mistake, and I went and purchased the famous... Oh, that's over here. Went and purchased the famous recharger kit. Now, considering that this thing is going to go on for, probably 20 to 50,000 kilometers before I replace it, there's a good chance that I'm not going to have to, because that'll be 2 to 4 years from now. There's 30,000 kilometers on the bike, and I'm just going to probably sell it and get something else by then. But it's there if I still have the bike. I love the bike, but everybody wants a change now and then. So, just wanted to cover some stuff really quickly without taking it apart and showing it, because I've already done it, and I just decided to do this video on the spur of the moment. So, just wanted to point out the spark plugs, the first two spark plugs that you have to do. There's one here, if you can see, right? It's on the right side. And then there's one way in the middle where the radiator is, and if you can see it right there. So in order to get at that, they supply you in your toolkit with this thing, and you can use that to get into the middle one and unscrew them. They're very loose, not loose, but they're only 8 pounds of foot torque. Where is it there? See, 8 feet. So really, it's a little bit tighter than snug tight. I didn't use the torque wrench in the middle spark plug because it was just a pain to get at, so I just did it by hand. The other thing to keep a note too is I didn't use the stock spark plugs in Canada. They recommended, not recommended, but they set up with these guys. And to keep a note, like again, I'm kind of a rookie, but these things that, the top things, the silver things, they stick inside. Let's see if I can get this. These things, right? So when you put your spark plug in, these things end up staying in, and I couldn't be bothered pulling them out of the rubber boots. So I just unscrewed it off of the spark plug. So that's the first two that I did. There's also two on the top, two spark plugs on the top here. As you can see, I got one of my ratchets in there, and then there's one on the side too. So that on the side, let me just walk over here. So that tool really comes in handy. Where are you here? So there's the one, And there's the second one, like deep in there, really in there, right? So, and that's the bike position so you can see it. So it's on this side, right, and then on the top too. So left side, top if you're on the driver's side. So I want to check how I seated the boot on that spark plug in the middle. So I'll show you how this, oops, let me get, sorry, it's hard to, how the radiator moves out of the way. So I'm unscrewing the single screw that moves the rad, right, and the tubes over here kind of move back and forth. I'm almost there, I apologize for this. I wasn't going to show me just unscrewing stuff. What the hell for? Everybody knows how to unscrew stuff, right? Sorry for the boredom. So this guy unscrews. There's the bolt. And then this just moves away. And then, if you can see, there's the whoops. Where am I pointing? Let's see if we can get it. See, there it is there. Now, oops. What I want to be able to do is get in there. See, it wasn't really sitting properly. There it goes. Yeah, now I feel better. Beautiful. Now it's sitting properly. Did you hear the clipping? But the clicking, that's kind of important. So now I know it's in there great. So I'm going to pause this and screw it back on. See, and here's the, in case you didn't see it before, there's the radiator, and it can move back and forth. See? Now I'll put the bolt back. So I've done the top one now too, and this guy was really easy. Now I'm going to do the side, and that will be all four of the spark plugs. And after that, I'll do the coolant. So filter, spark plugs, coolant, and really the only way you can do this is if you get it stripped down to this point. The other thing too is the valve check. I'm not too sure if I'm going to do that or not. Being a rookie, I don't know if I can be bothered to do it. I know they're saying it's simple, but I phoned the dealer, and this is not standard. Anything I say, you do at your own risk, but my dealer is saying 48,000 kilometers really is when they start looking at the valve check, which is probably wrong, but I don't know. Anyway, so I'm going to turn this off and do the other side because I know it's going to be difficult to say the least.